I have been going to conventions since as long as I can remember, if I'm completely honest.
Because, like, sometimes you can't cover an entire genre in half an hour.
Pausing, and we will probably resume it sometime this week.
It's kind of like the special features on a DVD.
Field Guide to Monsters?
One of the handbooks over there.
Huh.
This is Argo City Extra, a special edition of the Argo City podcast with Maddie and Matthew. It turns out we had a lot more to talk about with this movie than we could fit into one episode. So here's the rest of our review of Demon Slayer Season 3.
I was going to say, I saw you, continuously scrolling on your phone, so I thought we were finally getting somewhere.
Nope, we really weren't.
Oh, no.
Now, of course, while everyone else is asleep, Nezuko pops out of her box.
Oh, yes, our sweet little Nezuko.
And she's a cat.
Yeah, she is, poking you, trying to, wake you up. She headbutts Tanjiro at one point, which our cat...
Sparky does this to me all the time.
No, I think I accidentally trained our cat to, nudge you with his head in order to, get your attention if you stop petting him.
He does this.
And he does it now.
First he'll start with his paw. And he'll bat.
If he doesn't get his way.
Bat. And then... Bam! He will headbutt you. And Nezuko is doing exactly this.
She is so dumb.
She absolutely is. As trying to wake people up and untie them from the ropes. Mm-hmm. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But then she goes after this demon. Because the demon's starting to manifest. Mm-hmm. And because the thing is, the demon... It's not just a guy on top of the train. He's merged. He is the entire train.
Yeah.
The train starts to get fleshy, and again, this is very Freddy Krueger.
Just imagine the animated version versus real life. Imagine how gross that would be. Ugh.
Again, this is very Freddy Krueger. This is very Nightmare on Elm Street. It feels right. I mean, even it manifests as a giant snake with a face. Whenever we get to part 3, you're going to see that.
I was going to say, I was having so much fun watching your reactions to that.
I swear it's got to be influenced there. But Nezuko's going through, and she's starting to shred and slash and hack at every bit of this demon. It's almost like, I felt like, I wonder if she's causing more damage. Would a demon damage and hurt another demon more? Would she inflict a sort of psychic pain on him? A sort of greater kind of...
Yeah, I mean, when we were watching, you seemed very on the positive side that she was doing more damage than the rest of them were.
I think she was making more headway. I really do. And I think it's interesting that that's happening. I think it's interesting, too. All right, we're cursing this, mixing blood and ink. Mm-hmm. The ink of the ticket and your blood, this is what causes the curse. And look, Inu is arrogant. Look, this is a powerful talent he's got, but at the same time, what does he describe it as? Ordained unconscious mesmerism.
That is the most mouthful of words ever.
Yes, but okay, let's break it apart. Mesmerism, okay. Hypnotism, okay. Guiding, mental. Unconscious, okay. So you're mentally guiding them so sleep, dreams. Ordained. Destiny? You think that your power and the dreams you're granted, that you're pushing these people into, is destiny?
Huh.
I think this is where we go into overconfidence.
Well, no, that would even make me wonder, he's getting these children to, do his bidding and stuff, in the promise of dreams. Does he think he's in the right giving them dreams in return for help? Or is he manipulating? Because I'm pretty much on the side he's manipulating these kids because he keeps stringing them along. But, what if in his own mind he thinks he's, just doing a favor for a favor?
I think it could be a step further. I think he thinks it's his manifest destiny to come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Even once he gets defeated and reduced to slug form before he dissolves, it's like, I can't believe. Why me?
I think he said at one point, like, am I not the same as the rest of those demon slayers?
Yeah, am I not better than them?
Am I not better than the rest of those demons? Because he seemed so confident. Muzan gave him so much blood to make him more powerful, and it still did nothing.
And that's where we're going with ordained unconscious mesmerism. I feel like this is showing a very puffed up personality. Mm-hmm. Now, perhaps he hasn't run into something like this before, but yeah. And then just the fact that he's not on the train, he is the train.
Yeah.
That just kicks us up to a whole nother notch. And this is where, again, okay, I can see how this was episodic. Mm-hmm. That's a cliffhanger note.
Yeah.
In fact, it's such a cliffhanger note. This happens in one of Stephen King's book series. When he wrote The Dark Tower, he ends The Wastelands with all the heroes. They've just boarded a train to escape, except the train is sentient and crazy and evil. Yes, his name is Blaine the Mono.
Why does he have a name?
And Stephen King finished that book and left it there for 6 years.
Oh my God!
Everybody's on this cliffhanger for the better part of a decade.
Like, we're suddenly on we're on a train and he says, "Hi, my name is blank blank."
It's a little more than that, but kind of, yes. The Dark Tower was a passion project that King just finished bit by bit by bit, slowly, and then he'd go and do other more commercial stuff and then come back to it. And the fans, it would drive them. I didn't read it until it was complete. Mm-hmm. I'm actually not a fan of it. But I can't imagine just waiting for that. I remember there was somebody literally on his deathbed who wrote to King to ask what happens next because I'm going to die in 6 months.
Oh, no! Did he get an answer?
That I don't recall. I don't believe so, actually.
Oh.
So, the demon as the actual train itself, yeah, that resonates a lot with me. I think that's a great thing. And then, how they killed it. Mm-hmm. There's a neck bone on the train.
Yeah.
The train has vertebra.
Yeah, and this is Inosuke's real time to shine in this movie.
And like I need to understand how this works. Okay, so is Inu just manifest? Is he required to manifest a neck for somebody to possibly cut? Is this part of the fairness? Is this actual part of his biology? I don't understand what's happening here. But oh yes, look, the train has a vertebra, and. And it's... Tanjiro's like, okay, I'll cut the flesh, you cut the bone. It's like, I'm almost wondering, is one sword better suited for this than the other? Because those are very, very different blades.
That's true.
And Inosuke's like, okay, yes, I'm on that.
Yeah. He is so excited.
And it actually goes inverted, so it's more his boundless enthusiasm.
I love it how you're trying to create positive words around this, despite the fact you told me that you don't like him.
No, I don't like Inosuke.
See, saying that, you're going to get the entire fandom against you.
I understand, but it's just
Inosuke is precious. He's great. He's like the best part of that series.
He's wearing a pig head.
And he's hilarious about it.
He needs to put on a shirt.
I mean, he wears a dress in one of the episodes, but you can't, no!
And I'm so amused that it's Lydia's favorite character.
Literally,
too.
my sister Lydia watched Demon Slayer before I even did, and it was her favorite character. I still remember bits of fan art that her friend Aiden made for her up on the walls and such. But like, I can't see where you're coming from with Inosuke.
He was always one of the parts that turned me off, even just looking at the stills and figures. It's like, do I really want to spend time with this? Now, I will admit that, okay, so we've got some character here. I've gotten to know him. Mm-hmm. So he's tolerable, but I'd still be happier without him.
Yeah, that's kind of me with, like, Zenitsu. I can't stand him. I hate his being in every episode that he's in. And he just run away and quit the Demon Slayer Corps because I hate watching him so much.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, for him, it's more like he's bipolar. And one of those poles is complete, utter cowardice. And the other pole is ridiculous, unthinking bravery.
Only when he's asleep.
Yes, only when he's asleep. Which you would think that a dream demon is the perfect foe for him.
Yeah.
But not so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you didn't have anything else to say about the particular, the train part of the section, the train crashes, boom, we're on the ground, and a upper 3 demon joins the ranks.
Okay, and
I want to know your opinions on this one, because you seemed really invested.
This threw me off.
Really?
Well, now, this is like literally the last half hour of a 2-hour movie. And I'm like, we just had a really fascinating villain with a lot of literary connections and influences that I can see. And can we not? It's like, okay.
I was going to say, like, the thing that always threw me off is that he kind of came out of nowhere. But we find out why later. Find out why later.
Okay, because he did nothing here. It's like he shows up, and as soon as he showed up, and as soon as Rengoku confronts him, I'm like, oh, I should have seen where this was going. The second that Rengoku told the boys, I'll train you. It's kind of like in The Walking Dead. Just as soon as anything positive starts happening for a character,
gets ruined.
They're going to get killed in 2 minutes later.
Well, let me ask. Did Rengoku's death surprise you?
Not at that point, because I saw where it was going. As soon as the demon showed up, it was apparent that he was just there, and I connected immediately. I almost said it. It's like, I should have known he was a goner from the beginning when he said he'd take care of the boys, and when everybody was so happy at that he was going to take them under his wing. I should have known then. I literally almost said it. And yeah, I kind of and it felt out of place to me. Now, when you mention that this is really a compressed season, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because if this was just a film, it completely throws off the pacing and derails the whole narrative. Mm-hmm. The movie should have ended with the death of Imu, and it should have ended with Rengoku maybe being a bigger part of that. If they were going to kill him, it should have happened there. And I was even sitting there thinking, I'd have been happier if this had been a later episode after they got off the train. So actually, I'm right. It's a later episode after they get off the train.
Yeah,
it makes more sense as a series than it does as a film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if I'm not mistaken, the train arc is about like a little more than half, and then the rest of the season is this. So
yeah, and it should be. It should be its own thing. In fact, I never advocate for this, but in this case, I'll say this should have been its own movie or its own season. It should have been its own arc. It shouldn't have been connected to this. Maybe we get led to this after they drop him off at the station and they have to find this demon or something like that. But it just felt so sudden, and I didn't like that because Rengoku's an interesting character, and I feel like we needed more time spent with him.
That's what I was saying. I think we needed more time to bond with him. I mean, despite that fact, he is one of the most popular characters in this entire show.
Well, yes, I'm surprised that he's gone in the second season because he's in so much of the poster art. And I've been staring at your figure of him.
Yeah.
He's in the merchandising.
He is one of the most popular series. And I would even argue to say he's sometimes more popular than some of the main trio. But, like, we needed more time with him. We get a brief section with him when we meet the other Hashiras and Nezuko's defense, and then we get this, and then he's gone.
And we do get his backstory.
And actually, now that I think about it, we are missing a bit of an episode that predates this with more info on him. Because there's a whole, you know how he's eating all of those meals in the beginning of the movie?
Yes.
There's a whole section about how he's sent to defeat a demon in this, like, train station when he's getting on the train. And he ends up buying a bunch of these, like, meals from this, like, local stand that got most of their stuff destroyed. He's like, I'll take 20. And he proceeds to buy them out completely. And I don't know why they didn't include that. I might throw that on our movie night or our TV night next week if I can find it.
We really need those little moments.
Yeah.
Like the reason that we like, and I'm going to compare him again to Lemillion, but the reason we like Lemillion is we actually spent some real quality time with him.
Oh, yeah. During, like, Night Eyes Ancient Sea, Saving Aerie, like...
And he gets through some embarrassing moments, too. I'm too big for my clothes. Sorry if you actually saw anything. Just, Lemillion charms you, despite looking dumb. He charms you just because we get to spend time with him, and we do get those moments. And I don't think we got enough of that when Ringo... I like that we got his backstory, but I'd like more interaction with him and the boys. We didn't get a whole lot of interaction with him and the boys even when they first arrived.
Yeah.
Because we've sat through the first season already.
First two.
And so that's why we were watching the movie here. That's been part of our movie night now for a while. Mm-hmm. And even there, though, we don't get a ton of him.
Yeah.
We get, like you said, 2 episodes. We get just the introduction, and then he vanishes.
Yeah.
So, I think we needed more time there. I'd be interested, especially if anybody is familiar with the mangas, if we do get that there.
I'll have to look into that, and I'll get back to you on that, next week for it.
I'd love to hear that, too, from any listeners. Like, does he get a better shake there? There was something, though, that I thought was really interesting. It's when he dies.
Oh?
So we're at the very end. And he is obviously, he's done. He's imparted his last wisdom. He's told Tanjiro, okay, go check out this library, because I don't know anything about the questions you were asking me, but you might find your answers there. And he's made his peace. He's ready to go. And in the distance, you see his mother show up.
Yeah.
And she's come to get him. And it's really emotional. It's really beautifully done. There's something that I wonder, and this brings it to me.
Oh.
I have a fairly confident. I'm fairly confident of what's going to happen to me after I die. I am confident as to where I will spend my afterlife, what all that will look like. Well, what all that will be as far as human comprehension goes. what entering into eternity is, what coming into the presence of God is. But there's that moment before. There's that moment of death. I have had friends and family who have been in nursing, who have been in hospice, who have watched this process. They've seen people die.
Mm-hmm.
Even when my father was dying, the hospice worker described it as he's trying to transition, which I thought was an interesting idea.
Huh.
One of the things that seems fairly uniform from most people that I've talked to is that there's, at that very end, there's a sudden kind of bright recognition, like there's someone else there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I always really enjoyed about the Sandman comics is they have a portrayal of the Angel of Death who comes to get you.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's not that? What if it's somebody who's gone before? What if mom or dad or the wife or somebody like that is who gets sent to fetch you into eternity?
That's,
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's just an unveiling, a recognition of God's there, and I see him unveiled for the first time, or if it is the people that I've lost and that have gone before me, and that that's their privilege to get to do that. I don't know, but it's from what I've heard from more people than too many people for me to discount it. They can see something in their eyes. And I don't know whether that's true or not. But I remember when my grandfather was in hospice, and the last day of his life, we went to see him. Me and Mom and you.
me.
You were a baby.
I was gonna say, it would have had to be baby me.
Yes, but you were tiny. But you were there. And the whole time, my grandfather seemed a little distracted. He did frequently look past us, like there was something in that corner. And you were looking there too.
I was.
Like you saw something in that corner too.
Huh.
So watching that scene with Rengoku seeing his mother at the very end, it brings that all back. And I wonder if that's a philosophy that those writers have heard and embrace as well.
I wonder if that's a part of their culture there, like that someone greets you.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I think that's a beautiful way to end the episode this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a beautiful way to end it.
So that is Demon Slayer Season 3.
Mugen Train.
So, you know what? I think we need to end this with one more train song. Well, they gave him his orders in Monroe, Virginia. St. Pete, you're way behind time. This is not 38, oh, it's old 97. Your Twitter and dispenser on time. So we turned around to his black, greasy fireman and said, shovel a little more coal. When we cross that wide open mountain, you can watch old 97 roll. It's a mighty rough road from Lakewood to Danville, and a line on a 3-mile grade. It was on that grade that he lost his air brakes. You see what a jump he made. Well, ladies, you all can take this warning from this time now and none. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and never come home.